Unifor is proud to stand in solidarity with First Nations as they resist the Enbridge Northern Gateway project. Unifor was formed on Labor Day weekend as a merger of the Canadian Auto Workers and the Communication, Energy and Paper Workers Union. Unifor is now Canada's largest union in the private sector, with over 300,000 members from coast to coast to coast. We represent thousands of workers in mines, pulp and paper mills, refineries, and factories across Canada. We represent thousands of workers in Fort McMurray, in the oil sands, and indeed, we represent workers in almost every sector of the Canadian economy. In Unifor, we know the value of good jobs and shared prosperity, of negotiating hard and moving the agenda forward on behalf of all workers and in support of healthy communities. And we join you here today in solidarity. We know the meaning of solidarity. Our members live it every day, in a daily struggle for fairness in the workplace, on the picket line, at protests large and small, in the courts, and in constantly pushing our demands for justice to policymakers everywhere. Solidarity is formed through bonds of shared purpose and forged through shared struggle. Through collective action, rooted in a strong sense of purpose and desire for justice, we can achieve our goals. Goals that include raising the living standards of all workers, making our workplaces and communities safer and greener, and demanding fairness for all. We formed our new union, Unifor, as an act of hope and from an unwillingness to accept the status quo. We are motivated not only by words, but by action, and we are fired up by a burning desire for change. We know that our dependence on a carbon-based economy will not be ended overnight, but we also know the real and significant threat posed by a catastrophic man-made climate change. We know that we need to talk about a just transition in our society toward a future that looks toward improving options for Canadian workers and not simply exporting all of our resources. We need to see massive investments in green economy toward more good jobs, green jobs, and significant improvements in areas such as our public transit and passenger rail networks. We need a good jobs revolution. The Enbridge Northern Gateway project seeks to massively increase oil exports as if climate change wasn't real. It proposes to travel through our communities and First Nations with profit as the first motive instead of respecting our environment and social obligations to each other. It creates few jobs in Canada compared to its scale and exports even more of our natural resources even faster. It moves us even further away from a proper national energy strategy down a reckless path of export and growth at all costs. Unifor believes it's time for a new vision for Canada's energy industry, one that addresses the reality of Aboriginal title and rights, respects our social and environmental commitments, and generates lasting wealth for all who live here. For Unifor, the Enbridge Northern Gateway proposal doesn't meet these tests. It's not good for workers, for our communities, for our First Nations, and for our future. We ask the proponents and the governments involved in this project to listen to our combined voices, the voices of workers, First Nations, citizens, and peoples of Canada, and stop this project. Help us move toward a new energy strategy that makes sense and respects all of us. Unifor is proud to stand here in solidarity today and to sign the Solidarity Accord. We are proud to be another brick in the wall, a wall through which the Northern Gateway shall not pass. Therefore, we draw attention to what our signature means. We, the undersigned, say to our First Nations brothers and sisters and to the world that we are prepared to stand with you to protect the land, the water, and our communities from the Enbridge pipelines and tankers project and similar projects to transport tar sands oil. Thank you.